Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Littlest Reptiles, and it's another cutting day. Today we're going to be cutting clutch 27. We have 5 eggs. They laid 5 eggs, so again, perfect. I promise it won't stay that way. We will tell you when we lose one. We told you we lost one. We actually didn't the other day. We actually had put if you ever get, sometimes you get slugs that are a little bitty, like little hard rubber balls. Just throw those out. They're definitely slugs. Just toss them in the backyard or whatever. Feed them to a monitor or play kick. I don't give a shit what you do with them. Sometimes you're going to get slugs, though, that'll be a full-size egg, and when you candle it, you won't see anything. Now, I always put those in the incubator for just a little while, just in case maybe I missed some vein work, maybe I didn't see the spot, maybe it's going to develop. 94% of the time, that's the exact number, 94%, they don't develop into anything because they're just a slug, and we end up throwing them out anyway. That's what happened at last clutch. We had 4 eggs and 1 giant slug. Now, in this one we have 5 solid eggs. All good. We won't stay that way because I have thrown eggs that were good out of my incubator. So I do know for a fact that we have had a few egg losses, which is normal every year. You'll hear me talk about it. But this clutch here, before I cut it, is near and dear to my heart. And let me explain to you why that is. So, the mom was a GHI Mojave Blitz that I produced. That was a Blitz from our original Blitz. So, thought that'd be a really cool combo. Maybe get a GHI Mojave, some really crazy pattern, something going on the side. I don't know what we're going to get if we can hit the triple. We got 5 shots. Here's the kicker. Every now and then, you're going to lose an adult. It happens. The bigger your collection is, the longer you have it, the more likely that is to happen. For whatever reason. Just like if you have a city the size of New York City, which is not my collection, that would be like a Brian Barczyk collection, versus a city the size of, I don't know, Oswego, Kansas, where I grew up. Shout out to Oswego, Kansas, if anybody's from there. New York City has millions of people in it. Oswego had 1,500. You may have somebody die once a month in Oswego, whereas in New York, you probably have 100 die a day or more. That's just because of the size disparity. It doesn't mean New York has more people die. If you look at the percentage, it's probably close to the same. My point being, the more you have, the more likely you're going to have an adult get cancer, an adult fail to do something, or whatever. It's just part of it. So we lost our GHI Mojave female. I was really devastated. That was a snake I wanted for a long time. Produced it. I produced a handful over the years. That's what I kept. So I hated losing it. So I'm really hoping to at least get, at minimum, a GHI Mojave in here, so that way I can raise that back up. That's my hope. We're going to find out. So, without further ado, let's cut these open. I would love to get a GHI Mojave Blitz and keep that, but who knows. We're going to start right here. I don't know why, because it just feels like the starting place. That's a funky looking snake, but I don't think it's GHI Mojave. What we're seeing there is definitely Blitz involved. Definitely Blitz involved. No doubt about it. You can look in there and just see it all day long. Very, very blown out eyelets. So when it comes out, we'll have to look, see if maybe we think we got Mojave floating in there. Look at that head. There's a good chance we might, but definitely got Blitz going on. So off to a banging start. I guess I should always tell you what I have gotten in the habit of telling you I didn't hear. What is the best and worst thing we can make? Well, the best thing in this would be a GHI Mojave Blitz. The worst thing in this would be a normal. So for more of the first and not as many of the last. So back to it. Well, that there, y'all. That one I'm not sure of. This one I am. That looks to be like a Blitz Mojave. So, and you can see it's definitely a single keyhole, little single alien heads going on there, dripping down through there. I don't think GHI is in there, but that's probably just a straight Blitz then. But you can see it trying to twist in there, making little Mickey Mouse ears. Same with there. That's going to be a GHI Mojave. All right, 2 for 2. We're looking good. Good at eggs. I still don't have my GHI Mojave. I think I said GHI Mojave. It's a Blitz Mojave. bloody scissors. Hopefully they mean good stuff. So that there looks to be, you can really see a difference here. You still see a lot of single keyholing, but you can look and see a total difference in the color, busyness. This is how it looks. Blitz Mojave, Mojave. So Blitz Mojave, Mojave. There's a difference. Come on. Give me what I really want. Ooh. That I can hear Caleb chuckling. Usually when Caleb chuckles, he's seeing something he likes. Yeah. What do you think, Caleb?
So I'm going to pull Curtis and say wait till it sheds out, but it doesn't look like what I would think a GHI Blitz would look, so I don't know.
It looks pretty much what I think a GHI Blitz would look like.
Yeah.
I think it's GHI Blitz.
Looks nice, though.
It does look nice.
Looks real nice.
The Blitz has been very strong. The GHI not as strong, I don't think. Last one. Let's go out with a bang. I'm less sure on this one than I am on this one. But this one could be the same thing. You just get so much pattern wonkiness. This, actually, now that I'm looking, I'm actually getting more sure on this one. Yeah, we'll have to wait till that one's out. So here's where we're at on that. I don't think on a preliminary. Now again, could something crawl out and change my mind? I guess it could, right? It's always possible. You know, but I don't think we hit a GHI Mojave. It's a bummer. It's the only shot I got at them this year, which means to make some next year, take some shots next year, which I can do. I've got GHI males, I got GHI females, I got Mojave males, I got a super Mojave female. I've got a good shot at GHI lesser, so we could just go that route. I could just say hell with it and go buy one. That's also quite possible. But when they're all out, we'll get it figured out. However, I do think we did some cool stuff in these two eggs for sure. We didn't hit any normals, and I think this is probably the only single gene Mojave we hit. You know, those are probably the only two single genes that are in there. This little guy here, and yeah, we'll take a look at that. And I think that's a 2-gener, and I think these are probably 2. You can just see a difference from that Blitz to how much darker that you're getting in that pattern. If anything, we may run a single gene GHI in one of these two, but I just don't necessarily think so. It'll be hard till they're out to know for sure. So the other thing that could be is we could get those out and decide we do have the triple, and it just looks different than we anticipated. And we've run into that before, where when you start playing with the Blitz, and you're playing with it in ways that haven't really been played with before. And again, maybe it has. I don't know. I haven't looked at it or haven't looked it up. I just did it. We ran into that when we started doing like the calico pastel stuff. We thought it would come out a certain way with Blitz and calico based on the interaction of pastel and calico, and it didn't come out that way. So sometimes when you have things that interact, and they're going to interact different when you add Blitz. And then when we put Blitz into the pastel calico, we thought we would get that Blitz calico interaction with the pastel doing some crazy stuff, and we didn't. We actually got exactly what you'd think a Blitz calico pastel would have looked like had you never seen a calico Blitz. So very strange on how those things tend to play together. But that is where we're at. I would usually say, Kurt, any questions? But they'll say, Caleb, any questions?
I do actually.
Awesome.
So we're going to open this up real quick because I don't even think Matt's mind went there. My mind went straight to it as soon as I knew we were cutting. Interesting enough, further proof, there are no pastels in this. And the dad to this would be your dad to the Hellfires, correct?
Yes.
So we've been talking a lot how possibility of it being recessive and things like that. Interesting enough, another clutch without there being any visual pastel-like Hellfire stuff. So further thinking on that recessive line. So not really a question, just more of a interesting observation.
Yeah, and I don't even think of that anymore because I've bred that champagne and I've bred that single gene blitz so many damn times at this point, and only once, and that's when I paired them together, did I ever get anything like that. I've never had anything else since then or from then. Now, before we say, hey, that's recessive and you can get these and you got a shot at Hellfire based on this and this and this, there's some truth that is a possibility. But the fact of the matter is, we don't know on Hellfire if it's recessive or not for sure. The reason is we did repeat that pairing, and we're going to have to see if we can find it in the champagnes that hatched out, because we hatched out a bunch of champagnes. But it may not recreate the original Hellfires. We may have dealt with a genetic mutation to a handful of sperm. 2 of those sperms happen to be what's fertilized 2 of those eggs. We just pop 2 of them out. And those parents may not actually carry the genetic. The genetic may very well start in our collection. Now, they could carry it, and it could be recessive, and we were just the first to pair that and find it, if that's the case. We don't have those answers yet for everybody. I know that sounds weird that you'd think, well, how could a mutation just and happen? That's how all mutations happen. You know, every mutation that we have is, for lack of a better word, a genetic deformity almost. It's a genetic thing that happened that shouldn't have happened, that happened for whatever reason because of certain environmental aspects or something in the sperm or something didn't code right. And that's how we're, according to science, built. I'm not going to get into the whole debate on everything else because I think it's kind of that's a whole long story. I think there's some I don't think it's completely one way or the other. That's the best I can put that. Personally, that's a personal opinion. But anyway, when you get into the idea of how genetics work and morphs work, something will pass on like that, will be a random occurrence. However, and it happens all the time, it may be very, very small, maybe something visual we see. However, if that trait is desirable, then whoever has that desirable trait tends to be more successful at breeding, and over time that trait begins to dominate the population. It's just kind of how that theory works and why it takes millions of years for us to evolve, because there's one genetic faux pas here, it passes on, strengthens that, they begin to take over and pass on. Maybe it's something that makes you more desirable to the females, like the ability to grow more facial hair. Maybe it's something that makes you more desirable to females, like the ability not to have a lot of back hair. Maybe it keeps you warmer in the winter and you need less fires like back hair would, and so then you have more back hair, need less fires, less predators come and find you or enemies because of the fire, and you pass on more back hair. I don't fucking know. But the point I'm trying to make is that is how those things move through the world. Supposedly it's the same here. So having a random mutation pop up, while it would be rare, is not unheard of, and it's probably not as rare as we think. It's just how many random mutations pop up that we can visually see. Because every piece of that DNA gets randomly modified, and if something just doesn't connect right or whatever, I mean, there's a billion parts in that, you know, it's kind of how that happens. That's why we have people with blue eyes, brown eyes, and if you really look at it, redheaded people wouldn't survive in the Midwest. Yet we have them because we do control. We've made it where they can survive in the world, which is good. I'm not anti-red-haired people. Just the point I'm making is they bake in the sun very, very badly, have higher rates of cancer. Just it's the same with all these genetics that mutate in humans. Like a lot of my family probably would have died out too if we didn't have human control, which is what we're keeping here, and why these things will be allowed to do better than their camo would suck, possibly. Because why? Well, my family, there's a lot of them that have especially the age, diabetes, and we have medical treatments and things like that, so we're able to pass on genes that are less desirable in humans now than what animals are doing in the wild. So now it happens quicker. That's why we're getting fatter and getting more diabetes and some more other things is because we just say, oh, it's okay. We find a way to treat it. And thank God, or I wouldn't exist, right? So I'm fat and will probably get diabetes in 25 years. But anyway, that's beside the point. That's just kind of like, yeah, whole genetic lesson, survival of the fittest. And whenever we are humans, we take that fittest part out because now they're going to live in boxes. So the actual survival of the fittest now, if you think about it, as weird as that is, would be the brightest, coolest looking, rarest snake has the best chance of surviving in captivity because it's going to get the most care, checked on the most, the best food, and the best of everything because people see dollar signs behind it. So we've literally, in some ways, have changed how ball pythons evolve. Speeding it up and also changing that look. Because if I took freeways, started throwing them in the wild, they'd probably all get ate up. But if I take freeways and put them on a table for sale, they get ate up by people wanting to keep them. Funny, crazy, blows my mind. All right, anything else after I went down that crazy ass rabbit hole?
Nope.
Whew. All right, thank you guys. We'll catch you next time.